In the spirit of reconciliation, the Theatre Thoughts podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all traditional custodians of the land on which our episodes are recorded.
I just remember watching it for the first time. I don't know how it was in the house, but I just remember being like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of that, but also like, I am so turned on by Tim Curry.
Yeah.
It was, I was putting that in the wank.
Yeah. You're listening to the Theatre Thoughts podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome to the podcast. If you're one of our returning listeners, welcome back to a brand new episode. You can watch a snippet of this week's episode via our YouTube channel or subscribe to our Patreon for $5 a month to get access to the full video, a patron shout-out and earlier access to our episodes. Or if you're stretched on a budget, become a supporter for as little as $3 a month. If you're a fan of the podcast, please leave us a review wherever you're listening from. Share us on your socials, tell your friends at the theatre, stop to tell a stranger on the street, or just be that annoying friend who shares all the best recommendations. You can find all of our content via our Instagram channel at ttpod_official or by following the link in this episode's description. So switch on those thoughts and be sure to subscribe to catch all our new content in 2023. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Theatre Thoughts podcast. I've left the studio and I've wandered down to the Theatre Royal to talk with two of the cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I'm very excited. So first off, we have one performer who is playing Eddie on Dr. Scott. He's an actor-writer originally from Scotland who has written and produced several one-man cabaret shows, including a show called Toxic Masculinity, and worked as a dramaturg for artists in Adelaide and Melbourne. He works with cabaret artist Millicent Sari, who is the co-host of the feminist film analysis podcast Feminine Ruins Everything. So this isn't his first time on the podcast. Please welcome Ellis Dolan.
Hello, hi, I'm Ellis, that is me.
Excellent. And then our second lovely, amazing guest has been performing since a young age, started touring in Germany, England, Austria and Japan, starting her first band at 15, has made it to the top 14 in 2008's Australian Idol, worked with coach Delta Goodrum in 2020's The Voice, making it to the grand finale, and most recently has performed the role of Oberon in Shakespeare's The Lovers, which I loved. Please welcome Stella Perry.
Thank you. Yes, Oberon lives on.
Yes, and that's my awkward little intro thingy. So good.
That was great.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's fine. How are you both? We've been chatting already before off podcast, but
we haven't asked each other how each other is, so I think that's a really important.
No, that's a good one. I'm good. I've had a very quiet day today, just kind of collecting my thought.
AKA lazy.
The one thought.
The one thought for the day. Everybody gets one. And how's your day been, Stels?
Yes, good. I did my very first cover call tech thing.
Okay.
Which was adorable and mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because our covers are sensational and doing everyone else.
Yeah.
Like they can do everything.
Really?
Absolutely
well.
insane.
Really well. I was just like trying to remain in Magenta. I was like... just loving it.
I remember when I spoke to some of the swings of six, and I was just in awe the entire time. I was like, how do you do all of that?
How do you remember?
It's insane.
The lines
and
the
spacing.
Yes. Spikes as
the
well.
spike marks.
The
choreography.
I would never know that.
There's so much. And I mean, especially in a show where Rocky Horror, where every character is quite different and distinct, where it's not like you're playing variations of or similar kind of people. You are the all the extremes. Like Janet to Columbia is just
every personality is concentrated.
Yeah, I loved you guys in the show as well. We came opening night and we absolutely loved it. I mean, I personally just love Rocky Horror already.
Same.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
And I remember the very first time, I want to ask your first times in a sec. Mine was my mum first introduced it to me because she loves it. And she always talks about used to going to the cinema all dressed in a fishnet stocking. And, as like an 11-year-old boy, you go, Mum, I don't really want to picture that. But she made me watch the film and I was just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
It's very that.
It is.
It's very that.
But then afterwards you go, I want to watch that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mum sounds amazing.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
I want to know her.
Yeah. But what about you? What were your first times?
Well, my story is very similar. My parents showed it to me when I was like 10 because they raised me correctly.
Yeah.
And like as soon as I watched it, I was like, this is so cool. It's great. I want to do that. And specifically, I was like, I want to be the guy that bursts out of the freezer, sings a song, and then gets brutally murdered. Spoilers, brutally murdered. I was just like, that's all I want to do. Yeah. And so it is a literal childhood dream come true to be a part of this amazing cast.
Do you think about Meatloaf when you're up there?
Oh, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
Like he left such an incredible impression in that role, and because this is the 50th anniversary, there's a part of me that's like, I want to find my take on the character, but I also want to honor the Eddies that came, the Eddies of the past look down on us, and all that kind of thing.
Isn't there? Not respecting where everyone else has gone with it. Especially Meatloaf.
Yeah.
I feel the same with Tim Curry. Like,
yes. Yeah.
You want to draw from him, but you want to freshen it up and do your own thing, because there's no point just copying what everyone else has done.
Exactly.
Which we could all do. Like, if you're an actual fan of Rocky, you can say everything like they say it in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, because it's in your head.
Exactly.
But, which is hard, actually, I think, when you're so familiar with the work.
I have thought that before. Like, how do you create that separation? It is hard to just go, all right, I'm going to relax and I'm going to say it like the movie version, or do you make it your own thing?
Yeah, I've struggled with that with Magenta, to be honest.
I've definitely deliberately kind of picked and choose. There are some lines, particularly as Dr. Scott, that I'm like, no, I'm saying this the way it's in the movie because
God, you did. You've changed the way you've been saying Janet.
Have I?
The last two shows.
Oh no, I have not.
Yeah, slightly different.
Oh, okay. I'll need to tweak on that.
No, I love it.
But it's that thing of it. You find moments where it's like, let's pay respect to the thing that everybody in the audience is such a huge fan already. Let's pay respect to the thing that they know, but also let's find the jokes or the laughs or the deliveries that nobody else kind of has.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm just having an epiphany moment.
Oh, I love it.
And you would have seen it on my face.
I did see. I was like,
I went to a place. It's very ADD. It's like tuning out, thinking about my own thing. I think that this chick that I went to high school with, Frances, introduced it to me. I just remember it being in my house and watching it the first time. And I know Mum wouldn't have, not because she's like anti anything, she just wouldn't have been cool enough to pick it out.
Right.
Plus, we always picked out our own videos. Yes, videos.
Yes.
83 baby.
Yes. No, I remember.
When I watched it for the first time, I just remember watching it for the first time. I don't know how it was in the house, but I just remember being like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of that. But also, like, I am so turned on by Tim Curry.
Yeah.
It was, I was putting that in the wank
bank.
And I was being like 11 or 12.
Yes.
When that bank started to fill up.
I think
Tim Curry.
Just all Tim Curry.
The eyebrow moment, you know that.
Yeah, the little eyebrow raise he always does.
Well, babies, don't you panic. I love it.
I believe that nobody is allowed to answer Tim Curry in Rocky Horror as the question to what was your sexual awakening, because that was everybody's sexual awakening. That was a universal answer.
You know what was before that for me?
Oh yeah.
Foot Rot Flats. The cartoon.
Oh, okay.
There's a cartoon. Google it.
Yeah.
And there was a bean that jumps down the woman's breast, and I remember.
Right.
Ooh,
interesting.
Amazingly big breasts. And after her, it was Jessica Rabbit, and then it was
Jessica Rabbit was probably one of my
It was two
Jessica
girls.
Rabbit is another gimme. Come on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, which order is it for you? It depends when you're exposed to what.
Yeah.
And for me, Tim Curry was my third hottest moment of my life.
That's it, love.
But my first male.
There you go. Excellent. And then obviously we have Jason Donovan playing Frank N Furter.
Of
now.
course.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, and he brings this, I don't know how to describe it, like a gruffness almost to Frank N Furter that I'd never seen before. Yeah.
He's really edgy. He's really rock and roll. Like
he is rock and roll, isn't he?
Unexpectedly so.
Yeah. Because obviously, like a lot of
pop.
people would think of him with, Joseph as well. So, then it's such a contrast. And he does bring this really amazing quality to Frank N Furter.
He does. And the fatherliness of him, like in real life. But he, when, spoiler alert, whatever, but when Columbia's really upset about him maybe going home, and he's just the way he's like, I'm going to go home, baby. It's very dad to daughter. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. But I'm there trying to be like, you're about to die.
I do like that in the moment I just get to watch Jason do his thing and be in awe of him.
And I love that I'm wearing glasses and I get to watch you legs spread in fishnets. I'm like, oh, hello.
What a treat.
Then I'm like, focus. I've got the sunglasses on. No one knows.
No one will know.
No one's going to know.
But now I know.
Be watching it the entire time. So I guess the question is, why do you think Rocky Horror has this appeal that after 50 years, people are still rocking up, they're still rocking up, they're still, thank you. They're still dressing up, as Frank N Furter, all their outfits. What do you think is its appeal?
I think it's such a silly bombast of a show that's high energy and it's a lot of fun. And I think you could just look at it and be like, people come because they like to dance the time warp and the music's good and blah blah blah. But I think the reason it's lasted 50 years, which is astonishing for any piece of musical theater, is I think the message really resonates with people. Like at the end of the day, it's all about don't dream it, be it.
Yeah.
And I think people really take that, especially people in marginalized communities or the queer communities who see a part of themselves reflected in this movie that at the time that might have been the first example of that, or
well, yeah, like we're already talking about like sexual awakenings with it, so
exactly. I think so many people have that experience with it and that response to it, and the reason it resonates is because it's true and it's honest, and people, it makes people feel things in a way that they can come and they can dance the time warp and they can have a good time, but at the end of the day they're just like, this makes me feel better about who I am as a human, and that's invaluable.
Yeah. I love that.
I usually wouldn't add to something that was so perfectly put. I don't have anything to add on to what your points were, but I was just thinking I had another epiphany moment.
Love it.
Please, share your
epiphany. I need to add like dings for like the epiphany.
No, go for it.
What I was just thinking was, and tell me if you disagree, but back in the day when it came out, 50 years ago, I think people were freaking out more about a man in fishnets and heels and cross-dressing, like whatever, even though cross-dressing's been happening for thousands of years.
Yeah.
In pop culture and in every other way, just look at history. But I think that was the thing that people were fixating on, of like, oh, this is kind of like shocking in all the right ways and it's challenging me, but I feel cool for watching it.
Yeah.
And I like what it's making me feel and do, and it's, expanding my mind. But now, because of the whole PC community and the everyone needing equal everything, and rightly so, by the way, but also we're really coming down on people and like, what's that thing that you need to get consent?
Commission?
Yeah. And I think that some of those, the bedroomy scenes, like some of that almost non-consensual, emotional, maybe manipulation, coercion is now the thing that's triggering people and being like, oh, that's still that feeling of like, I don't love that, or that's not right.
Yeah.
Whereas I think back in the day, it was the other thing that wasn't right, and now everyone's like cool with that. But
interesting.
Now we're not, because back in the day there wasn't really, you didn't bat an eyelid to that kind of thing.
No, like you see it in so many films where you go,
movies,
probably isn't right.
This would not be shown today. This
exactly.
would not be written into a movie these days, unless it was like literally to make the point of that not being right. Yeah, which I just think that's the beauty of Rocky Horror. It just always has like different levels and flavours and things to focus on societally, which is interesting, which will always change in our society as we grow and evolve.
True, yeah.
Who knows what we're going to think of it in the next 50 years, what's like an important issue 50 years from now, and what isn't right now.
But I think it's also like in the way that it's written, it feels
timeless.
Yeah,
timeless.
It does. Like I think that there are parts that haven't aged well because of the way society is. Like, there are some outdated terminology or whatever.
Like the bring that back.
That's actually a good one. I don't mind it. But I think the bedroom scene is another thing that's like, in today's sensibilities, you're like, oh, that's not really good. But in terms, again, I think it comes down to
nice?
Isn't it nice, darling?
And audiences go crazy for that scene.
They do.
It's so well done by them.
The way they do. And also, can I say, in this production, it is so much saucier than like any other time I've seen it.
Really?
I think. Yeah. I was like, they're going for it.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
But I think it's also more restrained than other versions that I've seen, and I think that's what makes it saucier.
Yeah.
The fact, like I've seen versions with no disrespect to them, where they've added in very, very overt gags.
Right.
I think in one production, Brad pulled out a thing of Vaseline.
Oh, okay.
Which was, and again, I think it worked in the moment. But I think part of what makes this version so intense.
Like 1998.
It's set in the 50s, so they didn't know any better. But like I think the fact that this version of the scene is a bit more restrained and a bit more tasteful, actually makes it way saucier and everything. 100%. Any give that Brad and Janet give, it makes it all the more, hot under the collar because you haven't taken it as raunchy as you possibly could.
Yeah,
that's so true.
Running a small business? Are you promoting a new show or running a theatre space? Maybe you're looking for an area to reach potential new clients. Why not advertise with us on the Theatre Thoughts podcast? We have a range of packages and prices for you to put your ad right here on the podcast. For more information, contact us at theatrethoughtsteam@outlook.com or by heading to our website, theatrethoughtsaus.online. And I think as well, what I've always found interesting, and every time it's come to Australia, I found it interesting, is the difference between our reactions to the show throughout and like overseas. Because I was saying before, like the recording, in the West End, it's an institution, and everyone knows the line to say at the right time and the right pace, and they get up and they do the time warp. Whereas Australian audiences are very contained. It's like we need permission. It's like someone needs to go, yes, you may.
We're very respectful as an audience.
Yeah.
We
Dimming the lights. Ooh. Do we have to move or something?
Anyway, thanks for coming.
Thank you. That's all we got time for here.
Okay, stop talking now. Is it like a sort of... it's sensor light.
It's a sensor light.
I love that.
This will make great footage.
It was a bit creepy though.
It was a little bit, especially like, ooh.
It's a bit Rocky Horror after dark.
I always like
now all the really saucy questions come.
I was imagining Jason was just going to walk in at some stage.
With the
like,
smoke.
How'd you do that?
Incredible.
Where were we though?
We were talking about...
We're in the Theatre Royal in Sydney.
Thank you. What's my name?
Stellar.
Thank you.
I know it. The audience's reaction.
That's right.
Yes.
Australians are way too, I think personally, way too respectful.
Yes. Yes.
The Brits do it.
Yep.
I love that. And I know Miff loves a holler.
Yeah.
But only, like, it's better if it's the right one.
Yeah.
Don't just, like, say shit for shit's sake.
No. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I wish that Australians knew about it more and could embrace that.
Exactly, yeah.
I guess you were going to ask this question. Why do you think that they do it?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Why do you think? I have no idea why.
Like it might be a cultural thing. Like everything. Like I'm being from Scotland. Like my mum would always tell me about seeing gigs in Glasgow and the crowds being the most raucous and somehow the most supportive audiences that bands would ever have. And so maybe it's like a UK thing.
Yeah.
That audiences have been given permission universally to respond.
I think it comes back to the film. If like, just going off what my mum's told me, like they used to, like, have you ever seen The Room?
Yes.
Yeah, The Room's like the worst film ever made, but it's the best worst film ever made.
Is it a horror and it's based in one room?
No.
No.
This is The Room. It's a very, very different film. How dare you get that wrong?
You're cut from the podcast.
It's this film. It's a cult film, and everyone goes and watches it. And they do things. They bring spoons or something because it's something to do with the film.
It's incredible, and it like Rocky Horror. There is this script that you respond to certain things. My favorite, because I've been to see it a couple of times in the cinema, and it's phenomenal. We should do it. We should do it as a cast.
Yes.
And one of my favorite things is they'll cut every now and again. They'll just cut to a stock footage of the San Francisco Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and it just pans across, and as it's doing it, you have to chant as if it's like a race. And it's like, come on, go, you can do it. And if it gets to the end of the bridge, you have to give a big cheer.
Yeah.
So it's like things like that, which is exactly like Rocky Horror.
So playful.
It is. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to be more playful. Like when I came open, I was like, all right, time warp, and nobody got up, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay right here.
No, fuck everyone.
But then we did it at the end, and I was like, there we go. Yeah. But speaking of filming, you guys, if I'm not mistaken, are being filmed live across the country for the anniversary.
On the 30th of March.
30th of March.
7:30.
Amazing.
shown in cinemas around Australia, but not so much regional. We've just been talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be more metropolitan,
Right.
than we've been told, which is a shame. Like we love the idea of getting things out to people who
that don't
aren't
have
able to come
access.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It needs to be pushed
We're
out.
obviously not in control of it, but we're super grateful just for the opportunity, not to sound like a good little two shoes, but I feel like it's a pretty phenomenal.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
I-
that doesn't happen a lot.
I didn't
No.
think so. Because, I'm not from the theatre world, and I was asking theatre people, I was like, is this a normal thing? And I was like, not really.
Yeah.
I'm like, sick.
Especially not in Australia. Like
No.
I haven't heard of it happening here.
When I know Grant
that often.
Dodwell's starting like Australian Theatre Live, I think he's trying to bring that like the national theatre feel to Australia.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, so maybe this is, I don't know, maybe that could be the start of it.
Just
would be
the
rad.
toe in the water.
I do wonder how it's going to read on the big screen.
Yeah.
Because I've
Yeah.
watched the Rocky Horror, the UK version on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And like seen how that, and like it does actually sort of keep the feel of being in a theatre. Like
Yeah.
I really liked it. But I mean, I'm not being biased, but our cast,
Pretty damn good.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
I am stoked for this to be like accessible forever, essentially.
Yeah.
Will it be? Will it be YouTubeable?
I hope so.
I hope so. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? That'd be great.
I'm just thrilled to come to work every day and work with such an incredible group of people. Yourself included,
am. No, I
obviously.
am.
No, I am.
I am.
I knew it. It's a
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously, you say you're not, like, this is your, second musical theatre gig?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel bad about saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. And, like, when you were first announced as Oberon, I just remember seeing it online. Everyone just blew up. They're like, what? Amazing. They were over there. And you were amazing in
It
that
got
role
a good
as well.
reception. I'm really nervous about entering into the theatre world because I've had theatre friends for a long time and I'm very well aware of how competitive it is and how hard people work to get somewhere and to get jobs. And I would never, ever want to come and step on anyone's toes that's been like trying for these things. But the thing that I've learnt really quickly in like my very, very, very small amount of time in being in this industry is you've either got the essence of the character or not, and it's more often than not not anything to do with your level of talent or how hard you've worked and how easy you are. I mean, being easy to work with is great, but from every casting that I've seen, I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense why you got cast.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
They just sort of a bit are that character, and I was very Oberon, and I feel like I am very
much,
Magenta.
especially in the
It's just
the
luck.
Lovers.
I really feel like it's luck, and like I can sort of sing and kind of dance, and acting's like all right, but like I get it over the line because I can like just pull Magenta out of my ass basically, like 'cause she lives there.
Yeah.
Deep in the heart.
Oh, incredible. Well, can I ask you our 1 minute theatre thoughts questions?
Yeah, hit
Of
us.
course.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Wait, 1 minute is in. We've got to answer like straight away. Do we have buzzers?
Do we get a minute
You
each?
can. Well, let's figure out how we're going to do
I don't
this.
think so.
We should just take it in turns.
All right. What has been your favourite production you've seen?
Is that a good buzzer? You like that? I've got three that come to mind. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Hamilton. It's incredible. The Australian cast in particular are amazing. In the Heights at the Hayes in I think it was 2018, and Fun Home that was in Melbourne made me weep so much. So I had to. So those are my three.
Okay.
I've got two.
You didn't buzz. You didn't buzz in.
That's
I
better.
don't have, if I lose, who am I buzzing against?
Who am I going to beat?
Mine is Matilda and
Oh, I love it.
And Tim Minchin. I'm sorry,
Yes.
but he's a motherfucking god.
Yeah.
A genius. And I'm obsessed with Sound of Music, so obviously went to see that. Loved
Beautiful.
every second of it. It was me living my dream.
Love it.
Like seeing it in real life.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I was both in Melbourne because, I'm not cool enough to be in the States or in London, so sorry about it.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
what's your go-to karaoke song?
You Give Love a Bad Name by Bon Jovi.
Oh, nice.
Like that.
Or Tribute by Tenacious D.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You look like you
It's
could rock
such a
out
good one.
tribute.
I
Yeah.
do love that.
Incidentally, I do have a brother, and his name is Kyle.
Get
Love
out.
it.
Yeah.
Can we do Tenacious D at some point?
Yes, please. Can we?
I would love
That would be
Yeah,
great.
what's that?
I would
Done.
love to.
Done.
I would
Easy.
love to. I've got a few, but like it's hard to remember them all. But I know that my most recent one was, that hey yeah yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on? Linda Perry.
Yes.
Born on Blondes. Yeah.
Great.
That's a fun one. 25 years and my life is still. Speaking of that tone, do you believe in love after love after love? All I want to do is make love to you.
Yes.
So they're all, I guess, throaty, foghorny female vocalists with balls.
Yes.
Nice.
Love it.
I believe like karaoke should be like all up tempo plus Angels by Robbie Williams, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like
What a description.
yeah.
I'd have to concur.
Yeah.
I'd have to concur.
It pays for a good night.
And also, it's just too much having a wank if you're just like sitting there like sadly, you know.
Yeah.
It's like when guitar solos go for too long. It's like, we get it.
We get it. You're good at guitar.
Good.
Back
Move
to your
on.
bedroom. You're like, what about us? You've lost us. We're getting a beer.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, who inspired you as a young performer? And then I'll ask you one more.
As a young performer, Mariah Carey, for sure, when I was in grade 7. Alice Cooper, when I was in grade 6. And then it moved on to Maynard Tool.
Okay.
Nice.
Love it.
Michael Jackson.
Yes. Okay.
Meatloaf
Yep.
was a big influence, of course. Bono. I'm a huge U2 fan. And I
Yeah.
love Bono, and I will not hear a bad word against it. And Mandy Patinkin.
Oh, lovely. Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy Patinkin. He
theatre person.
he's
Yeah.
huge in theatre.
Yeah.
He originated Sunday in the Park with George.
Did you ever watch Homeland? The TV show Homeland?
Yes.
He was the CIA guy with the big beard in that. That looked after Claire Danes' character.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Mandy
I
Patinkin.
love him.
Yeah.
He's an incredible musical theatre
Yeah.
performer.
I
Has
didn't know that was his name.
the most beautiful voice.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, sweetie.
Oh, stop it.
Last one. Which production would you most want to see come to Australia?
Can you give me 5 that aren't in Australia?
Yes. I can tell you mine.
Go, Justin. Give me.
Hades Town is my number one.
Don't know what it is.
I
You've
would
never seen? Oh,
I would have
gotta
said
listen
Hades
to
Town.
it, Yeah.
Oh, is that? Wait, no.
The
no,
one
it's
with the
not.
Greek mythology story.
It's
Oh, I'd be into that. Half Greek.
Anais Mitchell.
I don't know.
Anais Mitchell
What's
is the
one about
composer.
the Jewish situation that everyone talks about that's really sad?
Fiddler on the
Parade?
Roof?
Yes.
No?
But cute.
Yeah.
Is it
Yes,
Parade?
yeah.
Parade,
Yeah,
yep.
Parade.
I feel like I need to see that in my lifetime.
Okay.
But give me your other 4.
Beetlejuice.
That's what I
Yes,
want. That's what I
yes.
want my answer to be. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
I want to be Beetlejuice so bad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Fine. I'll be Winona Ryder. Oh, speaking of, is Edward Scissorhands ever here?
Is that
that
a
a
musical?
It should be.
That'd be an amazing musical.
I'd say
The
that
music
musical.
is beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, it'd be
I'd
gorgeous.
love
Yeah.
that. And can you imagine Edward?
Oh, God, that'd
Henry
be good.
Rollo. He needs to play him. You saw it here first.
You saw it here first. Henry Rolla as Edward Scissorhands.
My other one, Back to the Future, because I'm a big
I love
Back to
that
the Future. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a musical.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a
apparently
show,
it is,
yeah.
and apparently it's really good.
What do you mean this apparently business?
Well, only from what I've
Google
heard. I've heard it's very, very good.
I would sign up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for
Yeah.
What's
that.
your other one?
Top of my head, I had it in my head, now it's gone. Probably Groundhog Day. I saw it on Broadway ages ago and hasn't come
Didn't
here
know that was
yet.
a-
I'm. That's another Tim Minchin
Tim
one.
Minchin did it.
Oh.
It's
As
incredible.
in the ground, like Bill Murray ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tim Minchin did the music. It's real good.
I mean, unfortunately, all those choices are based on movies, and Hades Town's the only original.
That's
but
why I know them.
Yeah, that's probably why.
That's what I was raised
I-
by.
But listen to Hades Town; it is phenomenal.
Yeah, okay, I will.
I would
It'll
love
tear your soul apart.
I would love for a Strange Loop to come.
Yes, apparently,
would
yeah,
be
that was well. That won the
Amazing.
Tony, didn't
yeah,
it?
it won the
Yeah.
it won the Tony, and it would be
What's
awesome.
A Strange Loop?
So Strange Loop is a new musical. It's semi-autobiographical, written by this guy who works as an usher at the theater, and he's African American and queer, and it's essentially just his life story while he's trying to make it as a writer.
Yeah.
And it was a really powerful score, and
Sad? It sounds.
It sounds
think-
sad.
yeah.
I think
It's deep, rich.
I think it really hit a lot of people over there.
yeah.
Right.
Which I would love for it. I'd love for more, again, like more original musicals that aren't just based on movies.
Yeah.
To come and flourish in Australia, because
No, I'm kidding. I love that.
Get out, Beetlejuice!
I'm such a pop trash whore.
No, I love it as well.
There's nothing actually artistic about me.
whereas I'm sitting here with my Sunday in the Park with George tattoo and
Just make dogs.
Oh, you
Just
do?
make the dog
do.
tap
That's
dance.
really
I'll be
cute.
happy.
that is, yeah.
Oh, that's so fucking cute. What are your other? How many? Is that you said 2? What are your?
Oh,
other
I
3?
don't know what else I've said. I'd love for the revival of Company where Bobby is a woman.
Yes,
should
yes,
come.
yes.
Because
Yep.
that
I
is
should have
awesome.
seen it when I was in the UK, and I didn't. And I'm kicking myself because it looks amazing.
I've heard nothing.
This is why
but
we're
good
beckoning
things.
it to come to
I know.
us.
Come
Please
to
come.
us.
And
please.
bring Patty Lapone with
Yes,
us.
yeah. God love Patty. Well, that was the longest 1 minute theatre.
That was a
thoughts
long
ever,
minute.
and I love it.
You can't just have 1 minute with us. We have to take your entire night and tell you every
can't.
single thing.
No,
you can't.
No.
No.
You can't just have. You can't.
What'd you
have
call
1
me?
minute. How dare you? Well, I'm very conscious you guys have to perform tonight, so I don't want to keep you here too much longer. But can I just say thank you so much for jumping on? It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been probably the funnest and most raunchy interview I've had in a very long time.
If you thought that was fun and raunchy, come see Rocky Horror Show playing in whatever theatre we're in.
Theatre Royal
Theatre.
till
April 2nd.
Cinemas near you, March 30, 7:30 p.m.
7:30 p.m.
See you there.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
You're adorable. I want to squeeze your cheeks. Also, hi to your mum. I love her.
Thank you to Ellis Dolan and Stella Perry for joining us on the podcast. A massive thank you to Vicky and the team at Lucky Star Media for helping to organise this episode. This episode was produced by Echidna Audio. Follow them on Instagram at Echidna Audio for all their audio services. Once again, if you enjoyed our podcast, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts and head to the link in this episode's description for our Instagram account, TikTok, YouTube and Patreon. My name's Justin Clark and I'll see you next time here on the Theatre Thoughts Podcast.